Shalom. My name is Richard Duffy, and I come to you with the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. I've been laying a foundation for where and how my walk began with the Lord. For those of you who are truly seeking to want to go into a deeper place, a deeper walk, a newer revelation with the Lord, and for those of you who are just new in the Lord, to make sure you have the tools that you need to walk in a way with the Lord that is not just about the mind, but is about the Spirit, the Holy Spirit within you. So I'll speak briefly about my personal experience of receiving the gift of tongues and my prayer language. When I first came to the Lord, I was introduced to a independent Church of God in the Massachusetts area where I was born and brought up. And when I went to that church, they asked me if I had been baptized, and I, having been brought up in the Catholic Church, I wasn't baptized. I was sprinkled, and I don't believe that's the appropriate way of coming into a fuller place of faith and understanding. So now that I was born of the Spirit of God, I believed I did need to be baptized. So they baptized me in their tank of water. And then after that, I was brought up into a private room where 7 or 8 of the brothers and sisters were praying around me that I would receive the Holy Spirit. And the sign of that being speaking in tongues. Now, I believe I had already received the Holy Spirit. But this was all new to me, and all of the verbiage and the language and all of that was all new. So I didn't quite understand all that they were doing, but I was at peace about it. And as they were praying around me, as I was sitting on this stool, I was starting to sense a bit of their strong desire for me to start speaking in tongues. And fortunately, there was an elder there who was leading the way, and after about a half hour of this, he just spoke up that we should just give it some time. And I was actually almost feeling bad for these people that I wasn't responding in a way that their expectations were unfulfilled. I would come to understand a lot more about man's expectations further down the road. But what did happen in the couple of weeks that followed, I wanted to have this prayer language. I read about it in the book of Acts. And one day I was sitting in my car in the center of town, and my focus was on the Lord, and I was sort of just praying, and all of a sudden I just started praying in tongues. This language just opened up within me, and it wasn't according to the timing of man or man's desire, but it was according to the desire of the Lord and the presence of the Holy Spirit. I received the Holy Spirit upon the accepting of the Lord in my heart and asking Jesus to come into my heart. the evidence of speaking in tongues was something that came along about 3 weeks later. So I would just encourage you to not feel like you need to walk in accordance to man, even men and women in the church, but just be patient that the Lord will give you everything you need. It is a gift that I use daily and have used for 35 years. It calms the voices that are coming from the outside and the voices that are coming from the inside. And praying in the Spirit just brings me to a place of internal peace and rest. And it is a prayer language. It is primarily for your personal use. I don't say that it can't be used in an external fashion when others are around or when you're corporately praying with other people. It certainly can. But primarily, it's for the individual, and it's for the individual to bring them to a place of the presence of God, letting the Holy Spirit have His place within you, and bringing all the other things that are going on and pulling at you during the day to a place of rest. So I would encourage you to pray in the Spirit, as Paul said. He prayed in the Spirit much, and I do as well. And I do it because I've seen the benefit of it. So I will close now with that, and I'm building toward getting to the point of giving the teachings, the revelations, the stories, the personal testimonies that the Lord has brought me through, where I've come to a place of truly hearing the voice of God on a daily basis, and the situations that the Lord has brought me through where I've had to depend on hearing His voice, sometimes in life and death situations, but in many different situations. That without it, certainly other outcomes could have happened. But thank God, through trusting in the Lord, through coming to that point of knowing that I had to put down my own concerns of whether I was hearing or not hearing. That's a part of the process of dying to self that you go through in accepting that it is in fact the Holy Spirit speaking. And that's a good process to go through. And the Lord will show you the difference between the natural voice of the mind, of the emotions, that which needs to be brought subject to the Holy Spirit. As He said, be renewed in the spirit of your mind, bringing every thought subject or captive to the mind of Mashiach Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah. So I will be getting more into that in the teachings ahead, but these days I'm just laying a foundation. So for now, Shalom from Jerusalem.